Welcome to This Explainer. Okay, we're jumping right into what I like to call a biological detective story today, and it's one that affects practically every single one of us. For years, we've treated our daily struggles with motivation and those intense, completely overpowering sugar cravings as personal failings. We think we're just weak, right? But today we're going to flip that script entirely. We're going to uncover a medical mystery that is waiting to be solved right inside your own body.
Let's be brutally honest for a second. How often do you hit that, 3 p.m. afternoon slump? You're completely drained of motivation, just desperately hunting the kitchen for a sweet treat. We constantly beat ourselves up over it, telling ourselves, I just need more willpower. But what if I told you that your cravings and your total lack of drive aren't a willpower problem at all? What if instead, your biological systems have literally been hijacked by modern life? Seriously, it's a hijacking. Let's dive into this and look at exactly who and what is responsible.
All right. Section 1, the motivation and sugar trap.
So, there was this fascinating documentary a while back called Sugar-Free Farm. They took 6 celebrities and had them quit sugar cold turkey. And as nutritionist Catherine Saxelby points out, it became glaringly obvious pretty fast. People don't just have a problem with sugar in isolation. The real problem, it's junk food. We're talking highly processed products loaded with refined starches, fats, and sugar. Food technologists specifically formulate these, what they call bliss foods, to be completely irresistible. So, when you're trying to quit, you're not just fighting a single ingredient. You are fighting expertly engineered, scientifically perfected foods designed to keep you hooked.
And man, when you are caught in this trap, the symptoms are incredibly real. Does any of this feel familiar to you? When people try to quit these modern habits cold turkey, they report severe irritability, crazy mood swings, and just throbbing headaches from the sugar withdrawal. And it's not even just the food. There's this phenomenon psychiatrists are seeing now where people describe a feeling of rotting in bed. You know the feeling? Staying up way too late, seeking that instant gratification from scrolling through social media, and then you wake up feeling completely sluggish, unmotivated, and physically drained. The whole shebang just leaves us entirely depleted.
Moving on to Section 2, hijacked, dopamine and cravings.
To really understand this hijacking, we gotta talk about dopamine. You've probably heard of it. It's a neurotransmitter, often called the feel-good chemical. But actually, scratch that. It's really the chemical of motivation, pleasure, and reward. It is absolutely essential for our survival. Think about it. Our ancestors relied on dopamine to push them to hunt, build shelters, bond with others. It's the chemical engine that drives us to achieve goals and actually feel that deep sense of satisfaction.
But here's the catch. Today, we've got 2 very different types of dopamine pathways happening. On one side, we have earned dopamine. This is how our brains literally evolved to work. Dopamine is released gradually through sustained, meaningful effort. Think exercising, mastering a new skill, or even just cleaning your house. But on the flip side, we have cheap dopamine. Modern society constantly bombards our brains with effortless, rapid-fire bursts of dopamine from endless social media scrolling and ultra-processed junk food. Because this reward isn't earned through effort, it leads to a sudden, massive crash below your normal baseline. And that crash, that is exactly what completely destroys your motivation and leaves you feeling so drained.
All right, Section 3, your gut bugs want sugar.
We hear the word microbiome thrown around a lot these days, but what does it actually mean? Well, it's the vibrant community of bacteria and microbes living mostly in your large intestine. But here is the critical part. They aren't just passively sitting down there waiting for food to arrive. No, they actively break down what you eat, they produce bioactive compounds, and they are constantly communicating with your immune system and your nervous system.
Now here is the absolute wildest part. Your gut microbes can actually shape your food preference signals. Seriously. If you eat a diet rich in added sugars, you are actively supporting and breeding bacteria that thrive on sugar, which, by the way, also happen to be bacteria that promote inflammation. Essentially, you're creating a demanding, noisy little tenant in your gut that talks to your brain, actively begging and asking for more sugar so it can survive. So the next time you have a craving, remember, it isn't just in your head, it's literally coming from your gut.
But hey, it's not all doom and gloom. There is good news here. If we feed our gut healthy, diverse fibers, things like lentils, oats, or vegetables, those microbes ferment the fiber and produce something called short-chain fatty acids, or SCFAs. And these SCFAs are absolute magic. They help regulate gut hormones involved in appetite control, including GLP-1. What does that mean in plain English? It means a fiber-fed microbiome sends strong, clear, I've had enough signals straight to your brain, which makes managing those cravings infinitely easier.
Section 4, the sweetness myth.
For ages, public health guidelines have pushed this idea that we need to train our palates to just stop liking sweet things altogether.
ban the sweet taste, right? Well, a recent 6-month randomized trial called the Sweet Tooth Trial completely challenges this old advice. Professor Catherine Appleton and her team found that the results simply do not support the universal advice to reduce sweetness across the board.
So what did the trial actually find? They put people on low sweetness, high sweetness, and moderate sweetness diets. And get this, over 6 months, adjusting the sweetness of their diet didn't change how much they preferred sweet foods at all. There were 0 weight changes, no meaningful differences in markers for heart disease or diabetes, and as you might guess, participants eventually just returned to their old eating habits anyway. What you should take away from this is pretty profound. Sweetness itself is not the enemy. The real danger lies in consuming excess calories and added sugars. You don't have to ban sweet flavors from your life, you just have to be smart about where that sweetness comes from.
Which brings us to Section 5, Hiding in Plain Sight.
I want you to lock this number in your head, 55 grams. According to the World Health Organization, 55 grams, which is roughly 13 teaspoons, is the absolute maximum daily limit of free sugars an average adult should consume. To put that into perspective, a single 600 milliliter bottle of standard cola contains about 16 teaspoons. Think about that. You completely blow past your daily limit with just one single drink.
But here's the sneaky part. It's not just in soda. Food manufacturers use up to 56 different names for sugar to hide it in processed foods. It's like a giant puzzle. It could be masquerading as dextrose or fructose. It might sound super healthy like coconut sugar or agave nectar, or it could be maltodextrin or high fructose corn syrup. It is absolutely critical to closely read ingredient labels, because if you don't know the aliases, these hidden accomplices are going to continue hijacking your biology without you even noticing.
Finally, Section 6, Reclaiming Your Biology.
Okay, let's actually fix this. First up, the gut. You do not need some traumatic cold turkey detox. As naturopathic clinics suggest, try this 3-step approach instead. Step 1, build every single meal around protein and fiber. This is crucial because it stabilizes your blood sugar. Step 2, feed your gut resistant starch. Things like lentils or potatoes and rice that have been cooked and then cooled down are absolutely incredible for feeding the good bugs that produce those appetite-regulating SCFAs. And step 3, take micro steps. Reduce the added sugar in your morning coffee by just 25% at a time. The goal is to slowly starve the bad bugs and feed the good ones without triggering a massive, impossible-to-fight rebound craving.
Next, we've got to rescue your brain. Here are 5 psychiatric strategies to naturally start earning your dopamine again. Number 1, phone fasting. Seriously, don't touch your phone for the first 15 minutes of the morning. Let your brain wake up naturally on its own terms. Number 2, cold water immersion. Just 30 seconds of cold water at the end of your shower can boost dopamine by up to 250%. It's a massive jolt of pure earned energy. Number 3, pursue meaningful goals, but break them down into micro steps so you get a rewarding dopamine hit with each small win. Number 4, enter a flow state by doing deep, distraction-free work. And finally, number 5, maintain discipline in your environment. Start by simply making your bed. I know it sounds minor, but these earned dopamine hits provide lasting motivation instead of those cheap, exhausting crashes.
And finally, since we know sweetness itself isn't the bad guy, what's a good tool to use? Let's talk about allulose. Allulose is a naturally occurring rare sugar. It gives you the sweet taste we all enjoy, but it's absorbed and excreted with almost 0 calories. That means it doesn't meaningfully raise your blood glucose or insulin levels at all. Plus, preliminary studies are even showing that it might modestly stimulate your body's own natural GLP-1 production. Yep, that same hormone that tells your brain you're full. It's a real game changer.
Now, a quick safety check here on allulose. If you're going to try it, start really small, like just 5 to 10 grams per day. Because it ferments in the gut, high doses can cause some gastrointestinal side effects like bloating, which is no fun. And of course, if you are a diabetic on glucose-lowering medications, never alter your prescriptions without talking to your doctor first, and keep monitoring your blood glucose closely. It's a fantastic tool, but it should complement, not replace, actual medical advice.
Wow, we have covered a ton of ground today. But the best part? You are no longer in the dark. Your lack of motivation and those intense sugar cravings are not a failure of your willpower. They are a biological hijacking from a modern world. But now, you actually have the tools to fight back. So my final question to you is this. Now that you know the truth, which system are you going to take back control of first today? Your dopamine or your microbiome? Think about it, pick one small step, and start reclaiming your biology right now. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and I'll see you next time.